Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter X, and Instagram. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. It's a Friday, September 19th, 2025, and you know just as well as I do, that means a lot of football for the people. Hope you're excited for the show today. Got to break down the Fins and Bills last night. Got to get you excited for the weekend in terms of Whatcha watching. We got Seska's Sense, which we're excited about. Week 2 returns of Seska's Sense. That's your weekly college football bananas. Got to stay locked for that. And a few retirements that we must get to. So a full plate on our breakfast table this morning. You know, you can get the show on YouTube, The Romanellas. That's youtube.com/The Romanellas. Hit subscribe there. Twitter X and Instagram, The Rome Show 1. That's The Rome Show, then the number 1. And Facebook, The Rome Show. If you missed any of those or you didn't get a chance to see the show live, The Rome Show podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Tua Tagovailoa threw a huge interception last night as the Miami Dolphins were driving with 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The score was 28-21. The Fins had the football. They were driving, and Tua pulled the ultimate Tua Tagovailoa decision, and he made a bad pass across the middle that was picked off by a Bills linebacker. They bring it back the other way. Leads into a field goal. They lose by 10. And what felt like could have been, even if it was just a moral victory at the end of the day, and they found a way not to win that football game, that was like almost the only way the Dolphins couldn't lose that game last night, is Tua making a bad decision. And Tua made a bad decision. Leading up to 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, okay? Outside of the roughing the kicker, tied 22-22 after the Bills' third straight 3-and-out. The Dolphins special team gets called for a roughing the kicker. That results in a first down. The Bills end up scoring. They take the lead in the fourth quarter. And then the ensuing drive results in a Tua Tagovailoa interception. And while watching that INT be thrown last night, it brought me all the way back to April of 2020 when I did a podcast, the Rome Show podcast, with someone that we know very well, a one Rocky Romanella. And I told the people then, and I'm going to play it for you now because I went back and found it yesterday, that Justin Herbert was the pick to make for the Miami Dolphins. Tua was not. And I think we'd be having a different conversation today. Let's go back 5 years to Andrew Romanella on an original iteration of the Rome Show.
No, you probably got to get if Herbert's
you
got to get him.
And he's my guy. And listen, if they draft Tua Tagovailoa, I'm not going to be mad about it. But I don't want him comparative to Herbert. Out of the three of them, of course I'd love Burrow, but I want Herbert.
There's too much sports superstition with Tua.
I know, and but I like athletic. Like, I really like that Herbert's athletic. He can throw the football. He does take care of the ball pretty well. I profile him as,
I like that he played in the Pac-12.
Agreed. And I like, and you know, other people maybe might not like that. I think he's the better version of Marcus Mariota.
If it was USC, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but you like
because
everyone else
because
but
he's from
USC.
Oregon, or like the kid from Washington.
Well, and I think the Dolphins take Herbert, and then immediately right there, the Chargers take Tua Tagovailoa. Hawaii, he's in California. That makes so much sense. Like, that's like a perfect fit. When you're talking about like hometown, I mean, that's as close as it's going to get. So I think there, you look at those three guys off the board. 1, Burrow, 5, Herbert to the Dolphins, and 6, Tagovailoa to the Chargers.
Oh man, could we not have listened to the Rome show back in the day? Because if we would have, we'd be in a completely different situation right now. I've been screaming into this microphone for 5 years that Justin Herbert was the decision at the time for the Miami Dolphins. And it's not a slight on Tua, because I think he is a solid quarterback. He just can't do all of the things that need to be done to win at the highest level in the National Football League. Sure, you can dink and dunk drives down the field. Yes, if you have a running game, which was as good as it was last night, Devon Achane, 12 carries, 62 yards. Ollie Gordon, the second, 9 carries, 38 yards. Gordon, he hit the end zone on the ground. Malik Washington on 2 end arounds gained 20 yards. In total, the Dolphins gained 130 yards. You have a running game like that, and then you can slice and dice down the field. Yes, that can be a recipe for offensive success, but it's not a recipe for winning. It's not a recipe for being one of the best teams in the league. Why? Because it's not sustainable. You need big plays. You need chunk yardage. You need the opportunity to push the ball 15, 20, 25 yards downfield. You can't have Jalen Waddle have 5 receptions, but for 39 yards. This feels like another coming of Jerry Jeudy in Cleveland. For a minute, we watched Jerry Jeudy in Cleveland for the last bunch of years rack up receptions, but no yardage. And that's what I feel like happens with Tua. Tyreek Hill, 5 receptions, 49 yards. It's a lot to have your offense be on the field for 10 or more plays every possession to try and get in the end zone. That's not a sustainable offensive model. And that there is the difference between Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert and some of these other guys. Jaden Daniels. They can run the rock. They can sling the rock. They can make decisions. They can dink and dunk. They can check down. They can throw it 45 yards downfield. They can fit the tight window. They can throw somebody open. Those are all the things you need an NFL-level quarterback to do, and Tua Tagovailoa is not doing that for the Miami Dolphins. And what you saw last night is probably the best you're going to get. You're going to be in games. You can be in games versus the best teams in the league. Your offense absolutely can move the football. It's not like it can't, but because it's so fragile, because it takes so much effort to get up and down the field, the Miami Dolphins offense, one mistake is essentially the game. And in this scenario, it was 2 mistakes because you're about to get the football back with 6.5 minutes on the clock, 7 minutes on the clock, momentum on your side, 3 straight 3-and-outs for the Buffalo Bills, and you rough the kicker. And then you get over that because Buffalo scores in 3 plays. Your offense is back on the field. They're moving. They're grooving. You're hitting on cylinders. Tyreek Hill catches a touchdown pass on the play before. You're running the rock. It's like Waddle gets 2 third downs. You convert a 4th down. Good things are happening, and bang. Just a terrible, like low-level quarterback decision with the eyes. Throw the ball over the middle. Interception. Game over. And I love the fight from the Dolphins. I loved that they showed you right there that they do have their head coaches back, that they do believe they're a good enough team. And though it feels very bleak at 0-3, they play the Jets next week and the Panthers the week after that. And then 2 weeks after that, they play the Cleveland Browns. So 3 of their next 4 games are against teams that haven't won either. Plus the Chargers mixed in there. So at worst, you're looking at 3-4 in week 7. And at best, you're looking at 4-3. Now, obviously, at worst, you're 0-7, right? But I don't believe, based on what I saw last night, that this team is going to be 2-15 anymore. Now, maybe that last week was a facade and weeks 1 and 2 were actually who they are. We still have to figure that out. But what I realized last night has been something that I've realized for 5 years, hence the audio I played for the people this morning. But it's been Justin Herbert from the moment the Dolphins had this decision. And if you remember, heading into the 2019 college football season, it was suck for Tua. It was suck for Tua. Then Joe Burrow from LSU comes out of left field. For the common folk, not from the football folk. The football folk knew he was good. The common folk had no clue. Just a transfer from Ohio State to LSU. Joe Burrow comes out, Ohio guy, since he has the first pick, makes so much sense. And that whole year, Justin Herbert had been talked about, but there was so much hype over Alabama and Tua. And oh my God, this guy, he came in off the bench and took Jalen Hurts' job a few years earlier. And they did do a lot of winning at Alabama. Okay, they did. And he did look like a good quarterback. And he still is a good quarterback. But he's not a championship caliber quarterback. He's not a top 15, top 20 dude in the NFL quarterback. And I believe you need that to win in this league. To finish your Thursday Night Football recap here on the Rome Show on a Friday, September 19th. Josh Allen, 22 of 28, 213 passing yards, 3 TDs, became the fastest player in NFL history to 300 touchdowns. Congratulations to Josh Allen on that one. If you remember him coming out of college out of Wyoming, the big thing for Josh Allen was his completion percentage. I think he had like a below 70% completion percentage, and that was the one knock on him. But he had all the other tools. And so as you can see now through his first, 5 years in the league, 6 years in the league, whatever it is, Josh Allen has continued to improve upon that skill. They showed some film last night of what he looked like his rookie year in 2018 and then what he looked like now. I guess that's 7 years later in 2025. And the work he has put into his mechanics to make sure that he has improved his quarterback play game. Always had the long ball, though. Always had the athleticism. Always had the grittiness. Always had those intangibles. Just needed to fine-tune one part of it, and that is what he did at the NFL level. Whereas when you look the other way, on the other side at Tua, 22 of 34, 146 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 interception, you're looking at somebody that has to have a game plan set. It doesn't feel like adversity can hit that guy behind the pocket. It doesn't feel like he can make that one play that all 21 other players on the field don't feel like should be made. And there is the difference. Bills 3-0. Dolphins 0-3. James Cook had 108 yards on the ground and a TD last night. By the way, Dalton Kincaid is clearly becoming Josh Allen's favorite target. 5 receptions, led the squad, 66 yards and 1 TD. If you listened to the show yesterday and you read my you would have known that you should have taken Kincaid over the 2.5 receptions, and he would have obliterated that. It's the Rome Show. Broadcasting live on September 19th on YouTube, Twitter X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Andrew Romanella. Make sure you hit subscribe and follow to all of our social media platforms so your friends can get in on the Rome Show. Action yesterday. 2 legendary Los Angeles superstars have decided they are going to call it a career. First, in the National Hockey League, Anze Kopitar decides after 20 seasons he's going to retire. The two-time Stanley Cup winning captain for the Los Angeles Kings has played in 1,454 games. Good for first all time in LA Kings franchise history. Has 838 assists, also first all time. 1,307 points, second all-time in Kings history, and 11 overtime goals, also good for second in Kings history. Anze Kopitar was also the first Slovenian to ever touch the ice in the National Hockey League. So congratulations on a fantastic career to Anze Kopitar. And if you got a chance, make sure you watch him play in his final season. He is going to play this entire year. He announced the retirement for the end of the year. Still one of the better players in the National Hockey League. And then in Major League Baseball, also in Los Angeles, Clayton Kershaw has decided he's going to hang up the cleats after 17 seasons in Dodgers white and royal. Clayton Kershaw will retire at the end of the year with a .698 winning percentage, which is the highest winning percentage for a starting pitcher that qualifies since 1900. That's how good this dude has been. In his final season with the Dodgers, he's 10-2 with a 3.53 ERA in 20 starts in his career, which has lasted 18 seasons, has 222 wins, 3,000 plus Ks, and 2 World Series. Clayton Kershaw also has the best ERA at 2.54 for qualified pitchers over the course of their career. So congratulations there to both Anze Kopitar and Clayton Kershaw, 2 Los Angeles legends who yesterday decided they would be hanging up the cleats. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it's a little bit of Seska's Sense and Whatcha Watchin to finish off the show for the people and get you ready for this weekend in both college and the National Football League. The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Andrew Romanella, back after this commercial break. Yeah, it's the Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube.com/the Romanellas, on Twitter X, the Rome Show 1, on Instagram, the Rome Show 1, on Facebook, the Rome Show. So many outlets, the Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. So many places to find the show. Just find it, hit subscribe and follow and share it with a friend. That's all that we ask. Andrew Romanella, 10 minutes left in this show, and what that means is we pop the sports music on and we get you ready for the National Football League next week. No, that's not it. No. You know why? Because we started a new segment last week about college football, and our guy Rich Seska tunes in every week and gives us his plays. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ourselves started off with a little bit of Seska's Sense. Seska's Sense, your weekly college football bananas, only on the Rome Show. Compliments of Rich Seska. Rich Seska is not liable for bad decisions you make with your bananas. These plays are your educated guesses or even high-level personal intuition. This is not a get-rich-quick or pyramid scheme. We do not call ourselves experts, just fans. Viewer banana spending advice. Get your notebooks out. Here we go. Seska's Sense. We got 4 picks for the people plus the Sun Belt pick of the week because you're listening to the official podcast and radio show of the Sun Belt Conference. Official, unofficial, official, unofficial. First and foremost, we got Florida State versus Kent State. Seska Sense says take the over at 54 and a half. The Florida State Seminoles are averaging 54 points per game this season and scored 77 last week. So they are prime time ready to rock. Your second Seska Sense of the weekend, UNLV at -2.5 versus Miami of Ohio. The Running Rebels are undefeated right now on the young season and coming off of a bye. So Seska Sense feeling like the team that is rested and playing the best football is who we're going to take UNLV at the -2.5. Western Kentucky, they take on Nevada. Fun fact about the Nevada football team that you definitely didn't know. Brock Purdy, quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, his brother is the quarterback of the Nevada football team. His name, Chubba Purdy. That doesn't mean, though, that Seska's taking him. We want Western Kentucky at home at -9.5. By the way, this season, Western Kentucky's averaging 48 points per game at home. Take WKU at -9.5. The Buffaloes, they take on Wyoming. They're favored by 13.5 points. And the Buffaloes gotta go. They're 1-2 this season, and their offense since Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter left has not looked very good. They're taking on Wyoming, who straight up just struggles to score points. So a matchup that CU should be able to exploit. Who's Seska taking? Seska's taking the Buffaloes at the -13.5. And now it is time for your Sunbelt pick of the week. The unofficial, unofficial spokes show of the Sunbelt Conference here. Sunbelt Conference reach out to sponsor a radio spot. We got Arkansas State. We got Kennesaw State. Arkansas State favored by 4.5. Okay, led by Butch June, former Power 4 coach. Arkansas State is 15th in the nation in time of possession. Where on the flip side, Kennesaw State is bottom third in the country in how long they possess the football. Why is that important? Because Mr. Seska Sense says he's going to take Arkansas State at the -4.5. Control the football. Control the rock. Win the game. That's the plan in the Sun Belt. Arkansas State -4.5. Those are your Seska Sense here on a Friday. Just remember, Seska Sense is going to be coming to you every single Friday during college football season to give you your college football must plays, including your Sun Belt pick of the week. We love Seska Sense.
Seska Sense, your weekly college football bananas, only on the Rome Show. Compliments of Rich Seska. Rich Seska is not liable for bad decisions you make with your bananas. These plays are merely educated guesses or even high-level personal intuition. This is not a get-rich-quick or pyramid scheme. We do not call ourselves experts, just fans. Viewer banana spending advised.
The disclaimer, the most important part, just because you're losing your bananas doesn't mean it's our fault. We're just giving you what we think is a good idea. The Rome Show on a Friday coming to an end. Got to remind you of a few things before we give you what you're watching.
Watchin.
We get you out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rome Show broadcasts live on youtube.com, on Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure you share it with your friends. Make sure we get the Rome Show podcast out there. We are also looking to grow the Rome Show. So if anybody out there would like to sponsor a segment, would like to sponsor a commercial, or would like to sponsor anything else that happens during this 30-minute program and this 5 days of the week, we would love for you to reach out. Hit us up on any of the social media handles. The Rome Show 1@gmail.com is the email address, or any other way you think you could reach out to us. But we would love to have you supporting, sponsoring, and representing on the Rome Show. Reach out, because we love to take this to the next level, just like we are about to take
Whatcha Watchin
to the next level and give you a bunch of picks as well. Here we go. All right, we're going to run through this really fast. ladies and gentlemen, get yourselves ready. Here's how we're feeling. Packers, Browns. Packers favored by 7.5 on the road. Give me the Pack minus the 7.5. Colts at Titans. I think this is going to be my survivor pick of the week. I just don't believe in the Titans. And the Colts are only favored by 4.5 in this game, but that run game travels with Jonathan Taylor, already 236 yards on the ground for Indy. Give me the Colts favored by the 4.5. Bengals at Vikings, 2 backup quarterbacks, 2 going against each other in this game, Jake Browning and Carson Wentz. I'm going to take up what I think the better of the two is. Give me Jake Browning and the Bengals on the road at the plus 2.5. Pittsburgh also favored on the road, only by 1.5, so essentially a pick 'em. I think that Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh bounce back this week, and they take it to New England, who, though we feel is better, still is not an elite football team yet. Give me Pittsburgh minus 1.5. Philadelphia, they're at home. They take on the Rams. The Rams have played good football so far. I don't know how well they're going to travel to the defending Super Bowl champions. Philly's only favored by 3.5. That's a pretty low number. Give me Philly at the 3.5. The Jets, they go to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay favored by 6.5. Baker Mayfield playing some really good football. I want the Bucs at the 6.5 plus. I don't trust the Jets offense, especially if it's led by Tyrod Taylor. The Raiders, they're at the Commanders. Now, a lot rides into this pick. Is Jaden Daniels playing? Is Jaden Daniels not playing? I'm on the side of him playing. Give me the Commanders at the 3.5. Atlanta, they go to Carolina. I don't think Carolina is that good, and I think Atlanta's way better than they have been in the last 2 years, especially in the 2 total years of Michael Penix Jr. I'll take the Falcons there. They're favored by 5.5. A little bit of a big number, but I still trust it, especially with Bijan Robinson. Again, run game travels. Give me the Falcons at minus 5.5. Texans at Jaguars. Jags are favored in this game by 1.5. It's got to be because of the start for both teams. 1-1 Jacksonville, 0-2 Houston. But on top of that, Jacksonville's home. I think the other factor in this scenario, I'll take the Texans on the road. Give me the plus 1.5. Broncos at Chargers. This is a really good contest, but I think the Chargers are just a little bit better, especially by a field goal. Chargers minus the 2.5. New Orleans on the road in Seattle. They're giving New Orleans no love. They're underdogs. 7.5. They're back on this game. Seattle favored by 7.5. I don't care that they're at home. I don't trust that. Give me New Orleans at plus 7.5. Dallas goes to Chicago. They're favored by 1.5. I'll take the Cowboys. Arizona at San Francisco. This is a tough contest. I like the Cardinals over the 49ers. A lot of question marks at quarterback there for San Francisco. Then finally, the last one that we will pick today is the Chiefs at the Giants. Chiefs looking for their first win. Giants looking for their first win. But the fact of the matter is, the Chiefs are the better football team. They're favored by essentially a touchdown. Give me the Chiefs at the minus 6.5. One bonus.
Watchin
for you on the weekend. Go back to the college football slate. Auburn, number 22, takes on Oklahoma, number 11. That's a game that you're going to want to watch. What You Watchin could be sponsored by you. If you want to sponsor a segment, reach out to us. We would appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a fantastic weekend. We hope you enjoyed the Rome Show here on a Friday. We hope you win a lot of bushels on your bananas, and we hope to see you on Monday. Andrew Romanella, subscribe to the Rome Show on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Until next week, this is me, and you have an electric weekend. And peace.
Thank you for listening.